About the history of the convent, when did it start up and how did it come about?
Now, in 1841, Dean Burke asked Mother Macaulay, which was very ill at the time, for some sisters to start a convent in Westport because there was a lot of poverty and there at the time, and they had no Catholic school. They had the school for the poor children, and then those who were well off were in a Protestant school. However, that was delayed because Mother Macaulay died in the end of 1841. So that slowed things up. But in 1842, Sister Paul Cullen of Carlow was founded by Mother Macaulay, and she and 3 sisters came to Westport. And at this stage, they had got the site for the convent, but that was it. So there were a room made for them there beside the church. And quickly they began to look after the poor children. I took one of the rooms where they taught them for a few years. And then it came up that the other children who were better off had no school to go to other than the Protestant school, so they had to get them settled up as well. And in no time, the numbers increased, and the convent wasn't ready until 1449, I think it was. Yes. Oh no, it must be 45, because the sisters took it over on the 9th of September 1845. So they had room then to start teaching the poor children, and then that's what I like about it,
And the next convent the first one was down at the church, between the church and the west, is that right?
That's right, yes.
And the next one was on Ettleham Street, the one that opened in 1840.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
And there was a Magdalene Asylum, and they were asked to take them over, so they took them over in a smaller room, and that was the start of the House of Mercy for the older girls.
And in the asylum, were there many people in it?
No, it's not recorded.
Yeah, but were there patients in there, or was it just
yes.
empty?
Oh, there were.
There were people in it.
Oh, there were, and then there were lots of orphans, and that started St. Columbus School, they called that.
And where did you get the site from? Who bought the site, or how did you get onto it?
Oh, the Marquess of Sligo that gave the 3 acres.
3 acres.
So, yeah, so that was it. And in no time at all. And then they got quite a few applicants, for to be received into the convent, and in no time at all they had gone up to 11. And then there was a call for Ballinrobe was the first convent they founded.
So they founded it?
They sent a few sisters to Ballinrobe, and that was early on, 1851, I think. And then the next one then was Newport. The parish priest in Newport wanted some sisters. Then Ballyhonus was the next one. And Achill and Mulrenny.
So they
and yes, they had plenty of
applicants.
Yes, to fulfill all those, and even after after the famine, there was an awful epic of cholera, and many people died, and you had the what was they call it, out at the quay, it was the old
workhouse, is it?
Workhouse, yes, and the sisters were in and out, and the people couldn't know how they were escaping. They kept walking among them, but one sister died, and she was very young. She was only 18.
So she must have only been in there,
Only in, she picked up the,
And how did it develop from there then?
How
did it end up over in Castlebar Street? The building in Castlebar Street, that was a private house, is it?
No, in Castlebar Street, that's where the school for the poor children, yes, and the sisters took over that. And then after that, they they got yes, by then the convent, was built, and they wanted a school now that would cater for the Catholic children, and quite a few, gave £100 or 200, which was
That's money then.
lot of money, and that the priest, he went to America and England, to get funds.
Which priest was that?
That was the Dean Burke.
Same man. They brought
Same
them
man, he seemed to be a great man. There's a
Mm.
big picture of him in the parlour in Westport. And it seemed to flourish
in.
and grow.
Well, it was filling a need, was it? For education.
Oh yes,
Mm.
oh yes, very much so.
There wasn't much education around that time, was there?
No.
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 No school.
And
The school.
if you were rich
school, yeah.
and that, you could go to the Protestant school.
Mm.
But for the poor, there was just a school, and you couldn't call it a school.
And would Catholics go to the Protestant school, do it?
Yes,
No, was it?
they did.
And was it allowed?
Well,
They done it a little bit,
and gradually they
Yeah.
realised,
Mm.
that it's a good school to go to.
Mm.
That the sisters had opened this school, so I think that's. But I suppose you still have the Protestant school,
They have their own school, yeah.
still there, yes.
So it evolved and expanded over the centuries.
Over the centuries.
Mm.
And then it came to the final day of parting,
When was that? Do you remember?
4 years ago just.
2008.
Yes.
After how many years? 1840 Two.
1842.
to 2008.
It must be 100 and,
Yeah, well,
160 or 180 years.
Did you feel sad when you heard it?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
End of an era.
There was so much of us there, you felt, I mean, all my young years were spent,
Mm.
in the convent in Westport, and I didn't know my own family was one thing, especially the younger. I didn't live with them, It's only now I'm getting to know them fully.